Now, last week we talked about the ups and downs of life. And if you remember, I was on the Ferris wheel at the Irvine Mall. We were going up and down, up and down. And I shared with you about how what the Lord did in our lives. In Jeremiah 18, the example that we see there is where God is saying, I'm the potter, you're the clay. And he talks about smashing us down. Now, right now, we're in an area called Culver City. It's right in the west of LA, next to Hollywood, Santa Monica. It's a small area, but it's all part of the whole metro area. And there's something special about this place. About 4+ years ago, when the Lord put us through a smackdown, part of that journey was He brought us here to Culver City. Now, a lot of people don't know this. I'm going to reveal some things for the first time to publicly, but there's a handful that do know the story. When we were at General Council in Indianapolis with the Assemblies of God, while I was there, I heard the Lord audibly tell me, Culver City. I had no idea where this place was. I had no idea what part of the country, but I just felt it. I heard it, and ever since that time, if you know how God works, I kept seeing it, all over the place. I saw a license plate that said Culver City. I saw a dentist that was named Dr. Culver, and that name just kept popping out over and over. And I told my wife, I don't know what this means, but I felt the Lord telling me Culver City. So then she tells me, I had a vision, and she wrote down the vision. It was 2 C's. And when she wrote it down, it's the exact same font that they use for the Culver City Chamber of Commerce. So all those things coming together, we felt like the Lord was telling us to come here. So we drove here one night from Salt Lake City. We drove here, and we woke up at the hotel. I had no idea where this place was. We woke up, I'm like, Lord, I know I'm near Santa Monica. I know I'm near West LA. We drove around, we saw the studios. Culver Studios sits behind me. Sony Studios is over here to my left. And I'm like, God, what are you telling us? And this is where the Lord we felt the call that God was saying, you need to get involved in the entertainment industry. Because not many people know this, but it was started here. If you remember all the Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, Mickey Rooney, all those films and TV shows, they were started here right behind me. Desilu, several others, I can go on and on. Columbia Pictures, all that started here. And this was actually the root of the entertainment industry. And we felt the Lord saying, this is where we want you to go. So we actually moved down here. Now, moving down here, the hardship of that was incredible. We came down here with no money and with zero support, and just coming down, following God. And if you know what that's like, you know that there's a lot of pain involved in that. And I would come up to this parking lot. It's about 4 stories high in this historic area of Culver City. And if you see right behind me, that hotel right behind me, that's where the Wizard of Oz, all the Munchkins stayed at that hotel because it was filmed here. Gone with the Wind, all that. And I would come up to this place here, and I would pray with my family. We'd cry out and we'd say, God, what did you do? Why did you have us leave what we were comfortable with? The pulpit, church, a district, multiple districts. Why did you have us leave that what we were successful at and come to this new mountain of influence and try to even do something here? There were times we went with scarce food, zero finances. One particular night, I remember my daughter is going to sleep hungry. My landlord knocking on the door saying, where's my money? It was such a hard time. And there was this one Starbucks that I'd go to and just like God, what did you do? And that process broke us to a point of like, God, we don't know what's happening, but we know we're going to be obedient. And in your breaking time, you've got to come to a conclusion saying, okay, God, I don't understand anything, but I'm still going to trust you. And that's what God drove us to. We did not understand anything, and we still trusted Him. 4 years now into the future, today was probably the first day I was telling a good friend of mine we're partnering together in different things here in the entertainment industry. I told him, for the first time, I can actually have a sense of coming around full circle, because we're at that same Starbucks that I would whine to God about, and we were working on some projects. I can't mention them now, but we're working on some projects that are pretty big. And I'm looking at him like, this is crazy, because I used to walk all over this city crying out to God in intercession and in whining. Also, if I could be honest, I was whining to God. But here I am 4 years later in a sense of purpose. So I want to say that from this point here, because I interceded from this point here, and I want to let you know that wherever you're at, in your place of hardship, God will bring you back full circle with a place of purpose. So don't lose that vision. Keep the dream and keep the intercession going, because Jeremiah 18 says, I'm going to break you down, but in that brokenness, I'm going to rebuild you. You might not be what you thought you were going to be, but you're going to be what He intended you to be. Jeremiah 18 verses 1 through 6. Read those again and say, God, I'm yours. Break me and rebuild me. God bless.